We about to turn it on. Turn it. We about to turn it on. Turn it. We about to turn it on. 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 We about to turn it on. Go, 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 go. We about to turn it on. Turn it on. We about to turn it on. We about to turn it on. Turn it. We about to turn it on. Turn it. We about to turn it on. 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 We about to turn it on. Go, 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 go. We about to turn it on.
Alrighty, hello ladies.
Yo! Hi!
Hello, and hello chat. Before we start, Xylie is not feeling good today, so she is not with us, and Mystic is also not with us today. So, as they say, three's a company, so yeah, just want to get that out there before we start. Eva, would you like to say hi to some people in chat?
Nah. Oh yeah, alright. Hey guys! right, we have Joey, Black Rose, Neon Tree, Tori. Hello, Skylar, Madam Motley, Miss Stripes. We've got Reese in there. We've got Spectre. Hello. And of course, hello, Doug. What's going on, everybody? And especially to our members with those little blue bees. I'd like to thank you for joining our members, our honorary broads. And today, oh my god, apparently this video is actually really good. I've heard a lot about it and I've actually not watched it and stayed away from it just so we can watch it today. So have you guys seen this at all?
No,
No,
I
I've
knew we were probably going to check it out, so I avoided it.
One, in the chat if you've watched this already. Two, if you're going to be along the ride with us today for the very first time.
Because you might have seen this topic on Twitter. It is, we are going to be reacting to Turkey Tom's video about Adam22. So it's going to be, it's going to be interesting.
Sweet. Before we go anywhere, Rynnie, do you want to turn yourself up a tiny little bit? You're a little bit low.
Yeah, is that better?
I think so.
How
as
about
long as it's a
this?
little bit higher. Sweet.
Okay. Okay. I think my mic, like the bottom has like a turny thingy majiggy. I don't know what to call it. So that was probably what it was.
Oh.
Yeah, you're good now. You're good now. Sweet.
Awesome. All right, should we get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get into it. Yeah.
This is gonna be interesting. All right.
Jumper is one of the most influential podcasts of all time. From its origins of blowing up with XXXTentacion, to hosting FouseyTube's mental breakdown in front of Keemstar, to Suspect and Kelpie beating the crap out of each other during a live recording. Even if you don't care at all about underground rap, there's a good chance you've seen one of the several infamous clips of fights, attempted robbery, and anything in between. Pulling in 30 million views a month and being host to more than 5 shows, the No Jumper channel is pretty impressive, and it's hard to believe one person founded this media empire, that one person being Adam22. With the work ethic of Mr. Beast,
That one person being the worst person you'll ever learn about.
Yeah, you know, I don't actually know a lot about like No Jumper and stuff like that. Like I know
same.
like that he's in it, and I think I've seen clips.
I
And stuff
used
from
to
it.
watch it. I used to watch it pretty regularly, and especially when he started bringing on like sex workers and stuff. I had a lot of friends that went on his show, and he's just a piece of shit though. Like once you actually learn about him, his show is just shit after that. Like you can't watch it. Yeah,
Really?
he's such a shit
Okay.
person that you don't even want to watch it. Like I watched his show before I learned what kind of shit he was into and the shit he said about minors and stuff. And it's just like the shit he has said is so like egregious that I couldn't even watch his show anymore. Like I couldn't separate the art from the artist on this one. He said too much.
Oh wow.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know like much about him, but like I know like about the Twitter stuff. But that's about like
Yeah,
the
no,
degree.
I'm sure he'll probably.
fucking stuff. But
I wonder if Turkey Tom's going to talk about it, or if this is just about the cuck stuff. Like,
Yeah, I wonder.
well, it says
Yeah.
degenerate history, so maybe.
oh,
it's
there we
like
go.
full-
Okay, then yeah,
Yeah.
he should talk about it then. It's a lot.
And by the way, I love Turkey Tom's editing and stuff like that. The little segment titles and stuff he puts in, and yeah, I'm excited. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
and a moral compass closer to Johnny Sins or Ron Jeremy, it's hard to picture anyone else even being able to found a brand so large and infamous. Recently, however, No Jumper has experienced a sharp decline in clout as the nature of Adam's relationship with his wife has been called into question.
Hey guys, guess what I'm
The
doing
chat.
today?
Oh no.
It's finally happening. Wow, I did not know you were gonna do that.
This has led to a lot of mockery and an overall dip in the respectability of the No Jumper brand. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. Adam's life is filled with bizarre connections, violent confrontations, criminal activity, going on tour with rappers, strange allegations, and so much more. So today, we'll examine his past to see how he wound up here. This is the No Jumper story. Born on November 24th, 1983, Adam22, or Adam Grand Mason, was born and raised in the small town of Nashua, New Hampshire. He had one sister, a mother that was a librarian, and a father that worked as an operative for the Democratic Party. Even at a young age, he was interested in counterculture. His parents found that at age 9, Adam was already listening to hardcore punk like Minor Threat and underground rap like Jedi Mind Tricks. Growing up, he quickly developed a passion for extreme sports. He discovered BMX biking and almost immediately became enamored with its thrilling nature and the tight-knit community surrounding it. As a 6th grader, Adam's father would unexpectedly go to prison for defrauding the city and abusing his position of power, an event that he later said profoundly affected his family life and put immense stress on his mother.
Okay.
That's
So-
huh.
That's a lot of information in like the first minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I didn't know like where to pause. I'm like, okay, what do I like comment? Because there's just so much. Like, okay,
Yeah,
his
he's not
mom-
even taking a pause.
Yeah,
There's so much.
like okay, so his mom was a librarian. Apparently, later on, his dad did like frauding and stuff, and then like in between those two things is like Adam was also into rap music and did BMX sports. I'm like, what?
Yeah, he was like, I didn't even know he was like a big fan of hardcore punk. That's my genre. Like, and I still
I've never-
fucking hate him.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of those bands they talked about. So it was
Oh.
I feel like I heard about what was the second one? Jedi Tricks or something. Like I feel like I've heard of them. I've never heard like their music, but like of them. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's interesting.
okay. All right.
Like
Yeah,
oh no,
that
there's
was
just
a lot
so
at
much.
Yeah,
What did he
that was a
know?
lot at once.
Yeah, just like do. All right, let's see.
His father turned out to be friends with Bill Clinton and received a presidential pardon after helping Bill win New Hampshire during his campaign. Allegedly, his family
Pardon
is
for
highly
what?
connected to the Rockefeller family,
Yeah.
and with a last name like Grand Mason, it's no surprise people have made theories about what the actual reason for his father's pardoning was, Illuminati or otherwise. Growing up, Adam's situation wasn't exactly easy. His father had developed anger issues from the legal nightmare he went through, and as a result, he took it out on Adam verbally and sometimes physically.
Yeah, it was like some abusive scenarios and stuff. We're like super cool now, but it was like I was just going to war with my dad, like fighting every day.
Did he hit you
Yeah.
with objects?
No, he just hit me with his fists.
The two would eventually make up after going to therapy, but for a period of time, Adam used BMX as an escape from his stressful household. His real journey in the BMX scene began during his high school years, spending countless hours honing his skills and exploring the local skate parks. His dedication to the sport grew, and he found himself deeply immersed in the culture, surrounded by like-minded riders who shared his enthusiasm for BMX. Following high school, he attended a community college before transferring to the University of Massachusetts. During college, Adam's grades would start slipping after transferring, and he started to get preoccupied with something that held his attention way more than school: credit card fraud. Here, Adam established two
Oh my
personality traits.
god.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay, that took a turn. He really enjoyed.
Oh, I just
sport.
remembered like after I said like, oh, what for? I just remembered that his dad was done for fraud, and I'm like, oh well, that runs in the family, I guess.
I guess so. Like
Oh damn.
that just took a 180.
Early on that he would carry for the rest of his life. A consistency in whatever field of work he was in, and a loose moral compass. His friends introduced fraud to him, and after a while, they got good at it. So good that eventually he just dropped out of college and moved to New York with the money from this venture, much to the dismay of his parents.
My parents come from an environment where they grew up really, really, really poor in like parts of New Hampshire and everything, you know? And so to them, education is so important because the only reason why they're in like a good financial position now is because they went to college and were able to get good jobs where they were able to make a decent amount of money.
While living in New York, he continued committing credit card fraud with his friends, making what would be a 6-figure salary. Everything seemed great, that is, until 6 months
What?
later. His friends would get
A 6-figure.
Figures?
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
All from credit fraud or bro.
That's man, like
It's like, and
There's
like,
money in the business, I guess.
yeah, I
oh,
mean,
yeah, apparently.
yeah, like to make enough to move from like Massachusetts to New York City, where like it's very expensive. Like, yeah, he was definitely was making some big bucks.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, all right.
Get caught and arrested at a GameStop, stressing him out so much that he quit entirely after this. Now jobless and alone in New York, Adam looked for ways that he could make a quick buck, often browsing the internet and looking for alternative ways to make money. At age 22, he figured out that he had a knack for online poker, and it didn't take long until he got hooked. At his peak, Adam would apparently play upwards of 12 hours a day, with an average of 100 hands per hour. Apart from his job, Adam often rode his bike around the city,
he showing
still finding
solitaire?
BMX and the
What's that?
It's like he's showing solitaire, not poker.
Oh, okay.
That was weird. Anyway.
community enjoyable. It was during this formative period that Adam found inspiration in a blend of two distinct worlds, hip-hop blogging and BMX. He had been using blogs and forums like Nah Right and the B9 to read and discuss rap and rock music he liked, while also browsing BMX blogs. The issue being that there were too many small BMX blogs at the time, and they were all largely splintered communities. This became the catalyst for his own venture that he created in 2006, The Come Up, a BMX-centered blog that would post the hottest new BMX videos, as well as any important news. He wanted the site to be the next Nah Right or B9, but for the BMX community. As Adam's blog began to gain traction and attract an audience, he ventured into the realm of advertisement to monetize his platform. After the first few months, he went from making $1K in advertisements to $10K a month. The financial success he achieved through these advertisements led to a pivotal decision. Recognizing the potential of his blog, Adam made the choice to abandon his involvement in poker and dedicate himself entirely to running the site. This decision would eventually pay off a year later. The Come Up quickly gained traction within the BMX community and became a go-to platform for riders, fans, and industry insiders. Adam utilized the website to showcase talented riders, share videos of their tricks and stunts, and provide a platform for emerging talents to gain exposure. This same year, he went on to found On Some Shit, or OSS for short, a BMX-focused merch store with designs reminiscent of his taste in punk rock. For the next few years, Adam rose in popularity and eventually became one of the top figureheads in the BMX community with his two major brands he had built up. If you were into BMX at the time, there was no way you hadn't heard of Adam22.
Okay, so he from high school when he got into BMX, that's kind of where he started doing his videos and stuff, was BMX stuff.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting to see that go from this beginning that we're seeing all the way to the podcast that he does now. Huh.
I just find it interesting that it's gone from there to porn.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah, it's a whole roller coaster.
In 2010, Adam moved to LA to get closer to the BMX scene. The West Coast was the central hub for all things BMX, and he wanted to share a space that the people who visited his website inhabited, as well as immersing himself into the BMX culture. With his newfound micro e-celebrity status, he would live in a house with a smaller group of BMX kids around his age and pay for their living and groceries. In return, they promised that they would promote his brand and get the word out that he was in town. Adam continued working on OSS and the Come Up, but was also looking for new avenues to expand his brand. He had been inadvertently surrounded in the cultural zeitgeist of underground hip-hop for a while just by living in LA, and wanted to recreate the magic of the Come Up for a new community. To do this, he enlisted the help of a writer, George Potter, who he had seen previously write about rap. Together, they created the No Jumper Tumblr page, with the name inspired by a Gucci Mane lyric. George was tasked with writing about whatever was happening in the hip-hop world, a similar formula used for the Come Up. Since Adam was busy running his two brands, he was very hands-off, only owning the brand name and financially backing it. Meanwhile, George was tasked with the brunt of the work. It's important to note that George was actually never paid during this time and was working for free, which most...
He was working for free?
Ooh.
Doing
yes.
all of that and no payment. What?
Was he promised something? What do you expect to get out of that?
Right. Because it's what? That's crazy.
It's likely led to what happened next.
I put a poll in the chat there as well. Would you rather commit fraud and get caught, or get cucked and be a bitch?
I'm surprised by the outcome of this poll.
Yeah.
So far.
Damn.
Wait,
Y'all getting put on a list too.
Wait, how's it looking so far?
Okay, just all right. Now it's neck and neck. On my end, it says 50-50.
Yeah, mine's pretty close.
Yeah. Also, Badwick asked, what do you guys think of the Plague Moth interview with Tom? I haven't watched it yet, but I really want to, because I've been keeping a close eye on that.
He ended up kind of falling off and not really being into it after 2 months. But then I always had the URL And then when we start, and he did a really good job for that time period, even though he didn't like stick with it, whatever. But I mean, it's hard to keep writing for free all the time when you aren't getting anything for it.
2 months after the blog was created, George outright stopped writing, most likely due to burnout and no incentive to keep going. He and Adam went their separate ways, but Adam still kept the website name in his back pocket if he ever thought of a way to use it in the future. With this new venture failing, Adam went back to being BMX focused for the time being. Looking for other ways people could view his BMX content, Adam branched out to YouTube. Starting in 2012, he made how-to videos about certain BMX tricks, hosted by well-known micro-celebrities that everyone in the community would know, posting these to the OSS and the Come Up YouTube channels. These videos, while not blowing up, got people otherwise uninterested in BMX to start giving it a try, and looking for ways to buy a new bike. Seeing a hole in the market, Adam capitalized on this a year later by starting his own brick-and-mortar store for OSS, selling his merch, but more importantly, selling bikes. The store was located by Skid Row, and slowly became more than just a store. It became a place to hang out. The BMX community was thrilled, and the store started to become a regular place to go to for most in the LA area, eventually becoming so popular after 3 months, it started affecting the regular inhabitants.
Outrage tonight over a viral video that was posted on Facebook of a professional bike rider or two using homeless people as props in the video. NBC4.
Wait, what?
That was hilarious. I'm sorry, that's the funniest thing. That's the funniest sentence I've heard all day. My God, that got me. Sorry.
Can you go back and repeat that? Actually, if that's all right.
Yeah. Let's rewind and what?
Regular
He's just
inhabitants.
jumping over
Outrage tonight
Bobos.
over a viral video that was posted on Facebook of a professional bike rider or two using homeless people as props in the video. NBC4's McCullough Medina found who posted the video, and you'll be surprised to hear why he said he's not taking it down.
Even though nobody got hurt, it's like right on the line of, being messed up, and so that was kind of a concern for me.
Adam Grandmason is the store owner and says Brandy began rides for his shop. He wasn't around when the trio made the video.
What? That's crazy.
Oh my God, see, if he wouldn't have gone around and said all the stuff he does about minors, like, I would be on his side about this. That's hilarious.
Oh my god.
God, that
Literally
is
as props.
By placing a store in Skid Row, Adam had unintentionally gotten even closer to the underground rap scene, and found himself getting more passionate about it as time went on. At this point, the come-up was largely fading away in popularity, and he could see it. Blogs as a whole were becoming less relevant, and people were shifting away from articles in exchange for social media sites like Twitter. The OSS still brought in a good amount of traffic, but the come-up was his bread and butter, and he needed a revenue stream to stay afloat. Utilizing his BMX background, Adam would dip his toes into the podcast scene, and interview some widely known BMX celebrities he had met in the past, using the back of the OSS store, a place he usually just hung out in, and then posting the recordings to the OSS channel. But after 23 interviews, he had a relatively lukewarm reception. He just wasn't getting the success that he wanted. Adam knew he had to change something if he wanted to keep doing podcasts. By now, the OSS had become locally infamous, and even started to attract some underground rappers that he had heard of. Through one of his friends, he got in contact with a then up-and-coming Bones, who would introduce him to Xavier Wolf. Xavier was interested in BMX at the time and really wanted to get into it, so Adam started hanging out with him, and they became fast friends.
And we were all just kicking it with him. And then Xavier was the one who was just like, yo, I want to get a bike, I want to get a bike. And he was dating this chick who lived like around the corner. So he would come over every day when she went to work, and he would just come here and sit here and smoke and hang out with me while I was working,
Xavier became a regular at the shop, and after the so-so reception of Adam's BMX podcast, he leaned into his knowledge and connections in underground rap, changing the focus from BMX to rappers. Xavier would be the first rapper he interviewed, and immediately it became clear that this format was the way to go, with the interview doing 10 times as well as the previous ones. This single video acted as a catalyst, opening the door for other rappers to come on, and Adam capitalized on that to the fullest. But there was just one slight change he had to make. He had been uploading these podcasts to the OSS YouTube channel, but since that brand was more BMX focused, he wanted to create another that was more specifically about underground rappers and the culture. Reaching into his back pocket, Adam renamed the Come Up channel to No Jumper. And if
Oh, okay, so that makes a lot of sense.
So
That's-
what was it? It was called the Come Up, was it?
Yeah, the come up,
So-
and that was more BMX focused, but because like he wanted rappers now, that's kind of why they rebranded that channel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Very
He should have just
Interesting.
stuck to jumping over homeless people. I mean, that was his bread
Yeah.
and butter.
True.
That would go viral, wouldn't it, really?
Mhm.
officially began his career as a podcast host. Starting small, Adam was conducting interviews with local rappers and artists who had not yet gained widespread recognition, but had some traction on sites like SoundCloud. He understood the gap in the market and knew that most of these rappers had not gotten their voices heard. Through No Jumper, he sought to provide a platform for the emerging talent, allowing them to share their stories and connect with a broader audience, as well as speak, sometimes for the first time in an interview.
Pause for a sec. So, Reese has been on fire today with what he said. So, like, this one comment before it was like, so BMX to BWC, which I think is fucking hilarious. And now it's just like, because we had that conversation then about the jumping over the homeless people with the guest, yes, but then he'll be guest jumper, not no jumper.
Hey, JC's cracking me up too. Notice JC in the chat on fire tonight.
You guys are killing us today, guys. Oh my God.
All right, let's continue.
Format with their pre-established fan base. Since he was in the Bay Area, he just walked around and looked for people to interview, actually finding success in his first ever official interview on No Jumper. Ryan Denny, a tech entrepreneur that he had just run into on the street. Adam's strategy for getting interviews at the time was a method of connection. If he had friends who knew a guy that had 50,000 followers on Instagram and also was an emerging talent of any kind, he would jump on it.
And then I got like Ain't Nobody Cool, like those dudes, just because I was friends with them. I just happened to meet them and I liked their brand or whatever. And then that was what was in my head. I was like, if I can get those dudes, I know I can get them, and then I can get the Shop Gene girls because they're friends with them, and then if I get them, I'm sure I could branch out to something else from there.
He took this method to its extreme, at one point interviewing the guy who was tattooing him after they started talking. Even though he started with essentially zero connections, he somehow found a way to make a decent amount with very little. It also didn't hurt that this was the start of the mainstream SoundCloud wave, and underground rappers were coming up left and right, giving No Jumper more content than ever. One of the earliest interviews on No Jumper that gained traction was with the Suicide Boys, and it showcased Adam's knack for drawing out authentic and engaging conversations. This isn't even an interview, it's just a serious adult conversation. I love it, dog. Adam interviews so damn well, never a dull moment. Much respect. Not only that, but it established something that No Jumper will be known for, finding underground rappers before they blew up. Adam had interviewed the Suicide Boys on December 4th, 2015. 7 months later, they massively exploded, peaking at number 17 on the Billboard rap charts. Perhaps even more legendary.
Wow, okay. That's like...
That's massive.
Yeah. Huh. Good for them.
I haven't heard about them either. Like, I haven't not heard about most of the people that he's talked about in this so far.
I feel like I've heard of Suicide Boys. Like, I've never listened to them, but again, like, I've heard of them.
They're the annoying, like, deep voice, like, I don't know what you call that kind of, it's annoying. Kind of like the, what's his name that used to read the scary stories and didn't show his face? Yeah, kind of like that style. Whatever you call that.
They do that type of music. I call it just A-boy music, to be honest.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Oh, they're ICP type shit. Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah, like right here in this thumbnail says the Lil Yachty interview. Okay.
Oh, okay. There you go. There's one name I know.
Yeah.
Adam would interview Lil Yachty on February 14th, 2016. That same month, Yachty became a model in Kanye West's Yeezy Season 3, and a month later debuted his mixtape Lil Boat, skyrocketing him into the mainstream, sending even more people to watch his interview from before he blew up. The success of the Lil Yachty interview brought No Jumper to the attention of a wider audience, establishing Adam not just as an interviewer, but a gatekeeper and a tastemaker. As a result, other artists began seeking interviews, recognizing the exposure and authenticity that the channel provided. No Jumper was not just limited to interviews though. Adam understood the power of variety, so he expanded the channel's offerings to include music video premieres, live performances, and vlogs detailing his day-to-day and showing a behind-the-scenes look for fans. But despite this pretty early success story, I don't think anyone could have predicted what was coming. It cannot be stated how big of an impact XXXTentacion had on the rap scene. From selling 68 million albums to being the profile picture of every teenage girl during his peak. It wouldn't be
okay, so true about that though.
So weird. Oh, it was a very weird time.
It's stretched to say he was one of the most infamous rappers of all time, with music as influential as Kurt Cobain and a past as violent as Tupac. But in 2016, he was still an emerging artist with a dedicated SoundCloud following. During that time, Adam secured an interview with him, not thinking much of it. X may have had a decent sized following, but he was still relatively underground. But to Adam's shock, the interview absolutely exploded, resonating with his following and intriguing those who hadn't heard of X before. As he kept getting more popular, so would No Jumper. He began raking in millions of views as X exploded, with a lot of people wanting to know what this enigmatic rapper was all about. This was the episode that put No Jumper as a brand on the map and solidified his reputation of finding artists before they got big. Following its success, Adam saw an influx of requests from other artists seeking to be featured. No Jumper became a hotbed for emerging SoundCloud rappers, a subgenre that was blowing up. Artists like Juice WRLD, 6ix9ine, Lil Pump, and Trippie Redd were among the many who made appearances on the show.
Yeah, wow, okay, so like a lot of people. It's kind of like, in a way, he was like their good luck charm, I guess, before they blew up. That's kind of how it's sounding.
Show. This had compounded with increased interest from record labels, managers, and industry professionals who recognized the platform's potential as a launchpad. Adam's work ethic and vision were paying off, and he created a space where artists could be heard and discovered. At the tail end of 2016, a girl named Lena DM'd Adam on Instagram looking for a job. His response was,
she's looking for a job, alright. Oh, yes, she was.
She was like, when are you gonna buy me some drinks? Like,
did I really say that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fire.
And then we went to a podcast as our first date.
Yeah, I got interviewed by fucking Gangsta Boo and Jackie Chain for my first ever time hanging out with her. Isn't that weird?
That was fun. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, what could make it look cooler than that?
Lena and Adam eventually got together as a couple, with Lena showing the public a side of Adam that had largely been unknown until now. His susceptibility and intrigue with sexual degeneracy.
Mishi, thank you so much for the, I don't know if it's a raid or redirect, but thank you. Welcome
Thank you, yeah, the raid. Thanks, Mishi.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
Everyone, hi.
I love
hi,
your cute little voice. Oh my God, it's so gorgeous.
Thank you again. Thank you.
Yeah, if you're coming in here, just make sure you have a go at that poll up the top there. If you can see that, that'll be great. And we'll see what the winner is at the end.
January 4th, 2017, Adam uploaded, "I had a threesome and I vlogged it." The title pretty much sums up the video topic, but more importantly, it blew up, getting 12 million views. Keep in mind, this was around the time people like Zoe Berger got insanely popular for videos where she teased revealing her nudes if she got 1 million subscribers. Adam, always on the lookout for new ways to expand his brand, worked with Lena, and together announced they would be dropping a tape once No Jumper and Lena's YouTube channel hit 1 million subs. 8 days later, Lena uploaded a video update, remarking at how fast her channel had grown, and telling fans that the tape was coming soon when they both hit 1 mil.
I don't know if you can tell, like, we're not the type of people to just, like, say we're gonna do something and then not do it.
I would rather die.
Exactly. Then go viral on the internet about making us say about 1 million and then not do it. And also, it's like, you guys have the power to unsubscribe, so we don't release a tape, you guys unsubscribe.
And as No Jumper continued to gain momentum, Adam seized opportunities beyond the channel. In March of 2017, he embarked on the No Jumper tour alongside rapper Lil Pump. The tour took them to cities across North America, where they performed for sold-out shows of fervent fans. It further cemented Adam's presence in the rap scene and established him as an arbiter for the mainstream rap media culture. Adam's involvement with Lil Pump extended beyond the tour, though. The two formed a strong bond and collaborated on various projects, further fueling Adam's emergence.
Pause. I want cigarettes so badly. I ran out last night and I woke up too late to go get any. So I'm sitting here going,
oh no.
So now I see them smoking cigarettes and I'm like, oh, why are you rubbing it in?
Another reason not to like him.
I know. I actually hate
it is sad that, he had to ruin his whole, like, they were geniuses with how they did everything. I mean, like, obviously they were really smart at what they were doing. He just had to be a shit person.
Yeah.
As it so often goes, tale as old as time.
All the best.
Like, he's actually had like, from what I've seen of the podcast, he's actually had some times where he's had some good points. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like, it's like, I don't know any of what you were talking about with, like,
I'm sure he'll get to it. It seems like that's where he's leading.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Jumper's influence also extended to the fashion world. With Adam's history of making merch on OSS, he seized this opportunity and relaunched the Awesome store in downtown LA. It became a hub for the No Jumper community, offering exclusive merchandise and streetwear mirroring OSS. This further solidified Adam's position as a mover and shaker in the rap world, with fans and artists flocking to the store to get their hands on the latest clothes. As the SoundCloud rap wave reached its peak, Adam's role in shaping the culture became increasingly evident. No Jumper had become a phenomenon, with millions of listeners tuning in to hear the latest interviews, debates, and insights from the world of hip-hop. But with success came controversy. Adam's willingness to engage with artists who had questionable backgrounds or were involved in controversies of their own led to criticism. One example being when XXXTentacion said Adam was his manager while he was going to jail for domestic battery. Other viewers also questioned his relationship with 6ix9ine after the rapper had been convicted of sexual assault of a minor. He has, for years, specifically chosen violent underground artists.
That's wild.
I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Neither. Like, I think I remember, like, the Tentacion stuff, but, like, the 6ix9ine stuff, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I watched his documentary, and, like, you would almost want to be on his side until he gets to that shit. It's another one where, like, you would be rooting for him, and, you know, not knowing anything about him watching the documentary, I was, like, rooting for him in the beginning, like, oh, yeah, look, this dude's awesome. By the end of it, you're like, oh, fuck him.
Yeah. Saying, yeah, Advent's like, so there's a pattern. And I'm like, yeah, there looks like there's a pattern going on here with that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They flock together.
True.
Their crime life. He has glorified specific violent wars between sets and people, treating it lightly and making jokes about specific people who have died, propagating deaths while sitting cozy in his room. Adam22 has been a platform for young artists to get exposure, but Adam has used this platform to spread more negativity and profit off of black plight and culture despite being super removed from it. Despite the criticism, the success was clear, and so Adam continued interviewing figures of this nature despite the noticeable backlash. What he didn't know is that the controversy was just getting started. 2018 started well, with Adam signing a deal with Atlantic Records to launch a new sub-label, No Jumper Records. After hours and hours of sitting down and talking to underground artists whose music had influenced millions, Adam found himself at the other end of the table, now producing music. The 2 songs released had blown up almost immediately, with Hard getting 100 million views on Spotify and 32 on YouTube. No Jumper was expanding to be more than just a podcast, but a cultural representation of the underground hip-hop movement. Adam was on cloud 9 and would have been for the rest of the year, but 6 days later, a familiar face showed up. It was George, the one who had co-founded the No Jumper blog with him 5 years ago. George started doing interviews around the time the
Interesting.
podcast was blowing up, saying things like, "I'm happy for your success, but it bugs me to see the name I came up with used for all this shit. He's selling t-shirts for $40 with the name I came up with on it, and he's not even acknowledging that I was ever a part of it." And he was like, "Yeah, I understand, man. It's like being kicked out of the band before they're successful, but it's just a name. There's not really anything you can do about it." Then he brought the No Jumper Festival like 20 minutes away from where I live and didn't send out an invite. I started to feel more personally disrespected. Adam...
Oh my god, I would feel disrespected too.
Yeah, but if you looked at him, I would forget about him too.
Yeah.
Like, he's a very forgettable face.
Yeah. That's true. That is true.
Responded by explaining how the original blog started and giving context to the situation. To most people, it seems like George was just a byproduct of Adam's past that was trying to find his own room in the limelight out of jealousy. Little did they know Adam's past carried a lot more baggage than a jilted coworker. On March 20th, 2018, Twitter user @ConnorTripler made a now deleted thread with screenshots of alleged evidence that Adam was in a relationship with a girl when she was 16 and he was in his 20s. Not only that,
that's very bad.
Yeah, now we're getting into it.
Yeah, now we're really starting to get into it.
It just keeps getting worse, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, that's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, we're into the meat and potatoes of things.
these screenshots accused him of sexually assaulting her, which unfortunately was never archived. What was archived was a post made by one of the alleged victims on the B9 boards. What once was an inspiration for Adam would now potentially lead to his downfall. The OP explained that this was on behalf of a friend and to not DM them unless it was to deliver a message to the accuser, Desiree. Adam22 is a serial sexual predator who manipulated and raped and abused me when I was a teenage girl. He documented it for everyone to see. His method is to dox women or try to shame them publicly into silence. He's done this multiple times, not only to women, but to children as well. This isn't a secret at all. It's been underneath all of our noses for years. Adam has even written and posted details of these incriminating events all himself. That last sentence got people on the B9 board curious, and several began digging for these posts that the victim was alleging. A day after this, Adam's Twitter would get flooded with people demanding answers, and he eventually responded. My lawyer says that I gotta stop talking on Twitter, but I just wanted to get this out. A girl I dated for a few months 10 years ago is coming out and saying that I raped and assaulted her. These claims are new. She has no evidence. I have plenty of emails from her that make it clear how absurd these claims are. You'll probably get to read them all in time. I've done plenty of stupid shit in my life, but I've never raped or hit a woman. After 3 days of digging, it seemed that people had finally found something of note. On March 25th, the Twitter account Helen would post screenshots from a blog that Adam had made, along with statements from the alleged victim. A statement from Adam22's victim, who tried to physically block her vagina with her hands before he pinned her arms down. At 5'3", she gave in and was later terrified her mom, who she shared a wall with, would hear her crying. He doxed and posted nudes of her online. It's all archived. The picture.
Oh
Holy
my
shit.
god.
Exactly.
That is absolutely
What?
fucked.
This dude.
What a piece of shit. Holy crap.
Yeah, oh, and he's like straight up just said weird things too. Like just said things about like, why wouldn't I be attracted to 16-year-olds? Like not exactly that, but along those lines. Like just straight up saying things. Like in passing, just as a post. Something wrong with him.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
jeez. Ugh.
So like not even did he like do the act and then record it and whatever, he's posted it online as well.
Yeah,
so, like,
and
there's so
yeah,
many things there that are so illegal. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
think this is the girl. He's posted pictures of her like half naked. I think some of them have even been naked. Like, and he was like,
Show
some of
Adam's
these she was
official-
underage, and like he didn't specify which ones, and it was just a mix of pictures of her. And he was like, "Y'all see now why I did it? Like she's hot as fuck."
oh,
It was
what?
really weird.
That's
Yeah.
the reason. Oh my god. Okay, so what did he go to jail? Are we gonna find that out?
No, I don't think anything's happened from any of this. This is why I'm like, it blows my mind when he starts trending and like hardly anybody's talking about this shit.
Oh my god.
let's see. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll talk about it.
her
Yeah,
crying.
yeah.
He doxed and posted nudes of her online. It's all archived. The pictures shown were Adam's official B9 account posting a link to an old blog he made, seemingly admitting to dating Desiree Aleda when she was 16 and he was 22. Now, any of the math inclined out there are probably reading this and thinking something like, she's 19 now, you were 23 then, how old was she then? Well, she was 16, but come on man, look at her. She's 18 or 19 in most of the pics here, but she didn't look much different at all then. If statutory is wrong, I don't want to be right. Pictures also came out from 2006 when Adam hosted an AMA on the 2
Yep.
What?
Like just a scumbag, like just general scumbag. And he don't even, he's just saying this shit like it's normal. Like he wrote this as a blog.
A whole
I am
fucking
actually
blog.
so fucking shocked right now.
Yeah, and like once it's out there, it's out there. So that poor like woman, like her shit's out there for
Yeah.
everyone to see.
Yeah, and it was like a mix of pictures when she was like underage, some she wasn't underage, but also some of them she was half naked in them. So it's like, okay, did you just post child porn? Like what's happening
Yeah,
here?
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, dude, ugh.
Plus 2 forums about his sexual history. In one of his replies, he admits that he slept with a 17-year-old when he was 22. On top of that, he allegedly said that 15 is good after being...
No.
Oh, no. See, this is what Xylie was saying the other day about like people in the manosphere and all that sort of stuff, and people that are manipulative and all that thing. They want girls that age because they can mold them and they can do what they like to them without them having any like, like.
It's the power. They want the power over them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because
It's
their brains are still mush, so they'll be able to control them and like coerce them into doing whatever they want. Like,
Whatever you post on the internet leaves a blueprint. Dumb fucks.
yeah.
Yeah, the shit. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's scattered all over the place too. Like he wrote little bits on this site, little bits on this site, and then just walked away from it. Like
it's the fact
that would never
he's
come
just,
back up.
It's the fact he's like, whatever, I'm just gonna post this and not think of the consequences of my actions.
So what, he's gonna post all this stuff, like, honestly, and then go, oh, it was a joke? Is that, like, basically, like, the situation? Like, did he actually address any of this? Or
I think he did, like... I think he, like, roundabout addressed it. Like, that he might talk about it. I can't really remember how he addressed it, but nothing's happened.
Shame for messaging girls that looked around that age. On March 26th, Adam tweeted out, "It's fucking sad how all it takes is a completely fabricated story from 10 plus years ago to fool so many people. I've got all these old emails from her about our relationship and zero mention abuse or rape." He then posted a string of email screenshots allegedly sent to him by the same girl, in which she talks nicely to him and never complains or accuses him of harassment. 4 days later, an article was published by Pitchfork detailing the accounts from two girls, one with the pseudonym of D that readers assumed was Desiree, and another that just went by Jane. They both described in detail incidents where Adam allegedly raped them. Jane would also say that Adam discussed it on a forum titled "The Time a Girl Accused Me of Rape," and even shared photos, full first and last names, and more. Pitchfork claims that they've seen the archive.
That is...
That's intimidation as well.
Yeah.
Like,
what the fuck?
dude.
Bro. This is...
But no source is given, and it seems like no one can even find this, strangely. Adam would address the blog he had written when Newsweek interviewed him a few days later. "I wrote the post in question over 10 years ago and deleted it within 6 months of writing, but people saved archived versions of the post and have been sending it around trying to imply that I had sex with her when she was 16, when in reality I was making light of the bad luck I experienced. I met her online, but she didn't tell me she was 16 until we first spoke on the phone. Although..."
So now he's changing it to, well, she didn't tell me. Age.
To be fair, it would have been legal via Canadian law, so she didn't even realize why I had to stop talking to her until I explained that the age of consent in America is 18. Despite article after article about these two accusations and a lot of people on Twitter parroting it, this controversy was largely not talked about after a month. Most people had already moved on and just kept watching No Jumper, or just didn't know a lot about the situation. Keep in mind, this was also during the Me Too movement, so other people quickly dismissed this case because of an influx of other allegations about more mainstream stars is up to interpretation. Regardless, in June, Adam hosted a memorial in front of the OSS store for XXXTentacion, who had recently passed away. The crowd reached 1,000 people and got so chaotic that police in riot gear showed up, having to use tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse the crowd. Since this incident was right after the allegations, viewers speculated that this was purposely meant to divert attention and get the heat off of Adam. During this time, No Jumper had experienced a sort of restructure and a change in how people viewed the show. To many, it felt like every week something insane would happen, and the show started getting a track record for crazy incidents. Clips would be reposted of Boonk passing out, presumably from the amount of drugs he'd taken.
Shout out to the homie Boonk.
Trippy Red.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I about went through the damn door.
Jesus.
Damn.
It also poured water on Adam's head, which would get fans sharing the clip around. Most infamously, someone tried to pull a firearm on Adam, but failed and got beat up live on air. The validity of this was questioned by...
Someone pulled a firearm live on air. What?
Was that like personal reasons or like he just got angry?
He's not very liked in the hip hop like world. Like there's
not after all of that anyway. I would assume.
Yeah. I would assume so.
People saying that this was all staged to get more attention, but pictures taken afterwards confirmed otherwise. No Jumper was starting to become less of a traditional podcast and more of a show. It was compared to Howard Stern, as it became less about the artists and interviewees and more about what crazy thing would happen on the air. While the SoundCloud wave of rappers was dying, Adam recognized the need for a change in the content if he was going to stay relevant. In the past, the guests had always been somewhat diverse. He had interviewed people like Anthony Fantano, so it wouldn't be a stretch to branch out to other YouTubers who were not music related. This was during what some considered to be the peak of YouTube drama, so Adam got Shane Dawson, who had recently...
Not the Shane Dawson.
Oh my god.
Please, not Rumpelstiltskin from Shrek, please.
recently made a documentary about TanaCon and his failures on his show. It went pretty normally for about the first 40 minutes until FouseyTube showed up out of nowhere, and the two started discussing various controversies, in particular FouseyCon, which was staged to happen very soon at the time of the podcast. By the end, Keemstar, Ice Poseidon, and Sam Pepper had all showed up to call Fousey out.
Keemstar!
How?
Yeah, this was like, yeah, have y'all not seen it? Oh my gosh, this was legendary. Oh my god.
That's so, oh my
Like,
god.
at that time, that was some of the biggest YouTubers. They're all just in one room. What?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, this was a big
crazy.
moment.
Okay.
It was absolute chaos. To change things up, Adam had made this interview live to experiment and see what the fans thought, and they went insane. Watching some of the biggest names in YouTube sit in a room as two of them screamed at each other about Range Rovers was one of the biggest highlights of the year, and it went on to solidify this episode in YouTube history. At the tail end of 2018, Atlantic Records would not renew its contract with No Jumper, presumably because of the allegations from 6 months prior. This end marked more than just a severed partnership, but a complete change in No Jumper. The days of interviewing underground rap artists were mostly over, and a new age of content was on the horizon. But thankfully, the channel was still doing well monetarily. At least it was, until the adpocalypse. In 2017, a lot of advertisers pulled out of YouTube.
The beauty pipe.
Oh my god. You know, I really liked PewDiePie back in there when I started watching YouTube and stuff like that, especially his Minecraft content. I know that sounds really funny, but like his Minecraft content was so enjoyable. Like with all the he made his dog in there, and he had like a pet horse as well, and it just made it really funny to watch, and that's what kind of got me into watching YouTube a lot more, I think.
Yeah,
but,
like him
and Jenna Marbles, of course. Yeah,
yeah, like that's kind of like when I do like my horror game streams on my Twitch or whatever. I always go back to 2012 PewDiePie because like those reactions were like the best, and I grew up watching him. And when this happened, it was just, I don't know, it was really flabbergasting. And to answer SM in chat, why did Adam have a records contract? That's because under No Jumper, I believe they said they had like a couple artists under them, so they released like a song or two.
Yeah, they were producing music.
Yeah.
YouTube after a few controversies happened back to back, one of them involving PewDiePie and his edgy jokes. This affected many creators across the site, and some YouTubers saw a 90% decrease in ad revenue on a monthly basis. For reference, before the adpocalypse hit, Adam claims the No Jumper channel was making around $50,000 a month in ad revenue alone. Afterwards, the channel got knocked down to $5,000 a month, which was obviously extremely concerning. Adam now had to diversify and find alternative ways to make money. He had noticed over the years that people were messaging him to review their SoundCloud songs, and with the live format being a success, he decided to capitalize on song reviews. Podcasts entirely went from mostly being pre-recorded to being fully live, and if anyone wanted him to review their SoundCloud, they just had to donate.
I think one of the first time, it might not have been the first time, but one time we did it, we was charging $20 a song, and we stayed on for I think 12 hours and ended up making like 10 grand or something, which is massive to me at the time. And then we just kind of evolved from there. Now we charge 120 bucks per song. I got like a whole cast of me and my friends. We sit around, we average around 2,000 bucks an hour, and that just was me being reactive to the fact that I had all these people sending me their music, and I was like, okay, well, if you want me to hear your fucking music, here you go.
Fans had gotten acquainted with co-hosts he regularly had on, like Camgirl and House Phone, so the first new show was hosted by both of them. After a few episodes, Adam actually joined in, and they would officially create the second podcast on the No Jumper channel, titled The No Jumper Show. Content around this time looked drastically different than it had a few years before. Previously, longtime fans had been used to seeing underground rappers, but recent interviews had largely been about internet personalities like FaZe Banks, Boogie2988, Nerd City, and Justin Wang. Fans were starting to feel like something had changed, and the original roots of the channel were dying because Adam felt the need to stay relevant in the pop culture zeitgeist. With a mindset of never-ending expansion, the channel eventually got too many shows to keep up with. In fact, the crew of No Jumper got so many shows that they developed their own fan base. Viewers that had never even heard of Adam before were now going to watch whatever show was being hosted by the crew members. And
wow. So like it got to a point where he's technically like the owner of the channel, but people don't even know him.
Yeah.
Wow. That is interesting.
Notable crew members during this time really displayed the direction the channel was going. Examples of this include Sharp, who was a pimp, and AD, a crip. Longtime co-host Housephone had been with the podcast since its inception and was noticeably bothered by the distinct change. He would still get his own show, but got into petty disputes with the rest of the crew. No Jumper at this point had become much larger than Adam. It was less of a channel and more of a mega conglomerated pile of ooze. Original fans from the BMX days had noticed that his blog, The Come Up, had been deleted, along with the OSS store closing around the same time. To fans, it felt like they had been abandoned in exchange for whatever was getting No Jumper the most money at the moment. Adam was such a fucking leech. He truly was the worst person that could have been running the biggest BMX site of all time. The dude brought so much negativity to the sport. Maybe it was inevitable, but his personality was and is awful and was the opposite of the friends I made while riding for the last 20 years. But Adam didn't care. Things were just getting better and better. Live streams were now averaging more than 5,000 viewers per show. No Jumper had an endless amount of content, which only multiplied on top of the pre-recorded podcasts, making the channel into a money-printing machine. If there was one thing consistent about Adam, it was his consistency to make money, regardless of his moral quandary. His girlfriend Lena's channel had recently hit 1 million subs, so they would finally deliver what they had promised. This was Adam's first on-camera sex tape, but it wouldn't be the last. After this, it felt like Adam had fallen down the porn industry rabbit hole. He had admitted to having threesomes in the past, but after his tape with Lena had done amazingly well, monetarily speaking, there was no stopping him. Lena had recently announced that she was pregnant, and they unanimously decided it would be a great idea to celebrate this holy conception by having a threesome with Trisha Paytas.
I remember this. Oh my god, that was like...
I was on all of their OnlyFans at the time. I was on Adam22 and Lena's. I was on Trisha's. I was like, I gotta see all this shit. So I saw it.
yeah. I remember that happening at the time. I remember them like advertising it, and because Trisha was she doing frenemies at that stage?
No, I think that was before. I'm pretty sure it was before.
Yeah.
Wow. So like they actually did it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They were going all over each other's bodies.
Yeah.
And Lena was pre-pregnant, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, like heavily pregnant.
Yeah.
Why is she called Lena the Plug? Do you know that?
I don't know. I would assume it's just because she's the plug for porn. I guess that's why she. If I'm like, I'm just guessing.
She's like a human butt plug.
Oh god!
Like I'm the plug. I'm your plug.
Yeah.
Like your drug dealer, but for porn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that happened. Holy shit.
Yep.
Oh god. All right.
But viewers were deeply disturbed at the fact that Lena had a threesome while she was carrying a child.
I just shot my first ever threesome from OnlyFans with my favorites. Hi. Lana and Adam.
I lived y'all dreams. I was inside the belly of the beast. Shout out Trisha Paytas, Lena the Plug, you.
For Adam, this was the match that lit the fire. After reducing himself to the point of a threesome with Trisha, all bets were off.
Yeah, when I
was reducing himself?
I don't feel bad about this at all.
That was good.
People were trying to roast you about it. I think that was okay. No.
The booty was round.
The funniest thing.
I could sit a cup on that.
A year after that video, Adam made Plug Talk, a focused version of No Jumper, where he and Lena would interview a porn star, then partake in adult activities on camera. Viewers would also be intrigued by thought-provoking questions and were really able to self-internalize as they watched what many considered to be the smartest podcast on the web.
Are you planning on doing all the crazy shit? You trying to do gangbangs and all this kind of stuff?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I just wanted to like, dip my feet in a little bit first. But yeah, I want to do like BDSM shoots. I want to do trains. Or I guess gangbangs is probably the more technical term for it.
The show itself had an uncensored version on
Her
YouTube,
accent
but also
was
made
so
a very,
thick, I
very,
really
very explicit
She's so
version
precious.
on Hub that I do not recommend watching. Adam had also started showing up a lot more on Lena's OnlyFans, posting content that some considered to be even more disturbing than the Trisha Paytas tape, and that's saying a lot. As Adam devolved deeper into the industry, No Jumper delved deeper into becoming a more shocking, controversial, tabloid-esque channel. Fights routinely broke out between guests.
Boy, fuck out of here.
I ain't never seen no.
Who are you?
I'm Lil Kelpie,
Kelpie
the
knows
pimp. Kelpie the motherfucker.
This was good.
Clown. I don't know who I am, bro.
Out of here.
Fucking Ben Franklin knows who I am.
Out of here.
He knows who the fuck I am. I'm
You
getting
said
money
what?
every day. I said Ben Franklin knows who the fuck I am, bitch.
Who you calling a bitch though?
I'm calling you a bitch.
Oh!
Sometimes even the
Damn.
co-hosts were the ones clashing fists.
Talk about it, bro. That's a.
Hey, stop playing before I smack
Do it.
Oh my god. Damn.
Watch out. We ain't doing that here.
As the number of shows grew, so did the number of controversies. Subjects began to revolve around what could get the most extreme reaction out of anyone involved, regardless of the harm it may do while live. Short term, this would greatly benefit the channel, but long term, it would end up diluting the brand from a respectable rap podcast to a circus freak show. By 2021, it felt like No Jumper had become a full-on reality TV show. Popular topics around this time focused on gang-related content, leaning into anything about the criminal underbelly of the hip-hop world. Adam would regularly have guests from infamous gangs like the Bloods and the Crips, with him asking as many questions as possible to try and get them to talk about their criminal past. People got sick of this format pretty quickly, and even the crew started having issues. As focus shifted away from gang members, Adam found a controversial subject that would entertain more people than ever: his own crew. For the past few months, the No Jumper crew had been infighting privately about various things, and Adam saw this as potential content waiting to be used. Instead of keeping it private, he encouraged them to discuss their beef on camera, usually resulting in a screaming match or a straight-up fight. While this format of making content proved to be very popular in the short term, it eventually built a slow and gradual resentment of Adam from the entire crew and their individual fan bases. No Jumper wasn't just a podcast, it was a launching pad for his co-hosts to get their own shows and make an entire career with Adam largely out of the picture. Hip-hop fans in general started viewing No Jumper as a stain on the industry. While the crew had started to make a living off of their own shows, it also largely oversaturated the channel and confused casuals, flooding it with stuff that most people just didn't care about. The resentment shared by the crew was getting to a boiling point, but the domino that led to its true fall was Adam exposing his longtime friend House Phone. On January 18th, 2023, Adam released an episode.
Yeah, y'all remember this was a big deal too.
No,
How'd y'all
I don't
miss
remember
this?
this. Yeah, I don't even know the name House Phone. I think that's a great name. Holy shit. No
I
one's
guess
got
I
House
watched
Phone.
a lot more of Adam22 and No Jumper than I think I realized, because I remember like all of this. I don't think I realized I was like consuming that much, but I guess I was.
Xylie said this was big drama. So there you go. I had no idea about this.
Yeah,
so.
this was big.
Yeah. Alright.
Episode of a show titled Sledgelords, which featured transgender model Gracie Jane. During the podcast, Jane made a suggestion to Adam, implying that she had a sexual encounter with House Phone. The clips containing House's name were edited, but very poorly done, and viewers could clearly see that she was saying his name.
Oh, come on. You've already sold out entire life here.
Yeah, well.
Did that look down upon to expose that somebody may have been with a trans person? If,
Yeah, absolutely. I sign NDAs and I take them very seriously, so just letting everybody
you didn't
know
get
that.
one from, I'm guessing?
He didn't me.
The next day, House responded.
It's 2023, bro. No matter what decide to do with their lives, which is nothing wrong with, by the way, I feel like my being like outed or exposed or whatever by like my home team, by people that I work with, that I see every week, bro. I'm really like, that's bothering me, bro. I'm really not gonna lie to you. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie, but I'm also not gonna sit here and like claim like everything. But just know, I ain't never touched it. I ain't never sucked no. I ain't never got in that. And I'll leave it there. All right. Just know, got a little experience.
That leaves out a whole lot of other stuff you could still be doing though.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. He only like canceled out a couple things. There's still a whole list of things you could do with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest.
Semantics aside, fans felt that Adam had shed light on something that House wanted to stay private, and the two finally met up on the No Jumper show later that month. While starting out light, the conversation eventually got heated. House refused to accept Adam's apology because he didn't think he had taken accountability for it. Adam would bring up that he had paid for House's mom's funeral, another private detail that it can be assumed House didn't want anyone to know, and then this happened.
Are you actually acting like I have some kind of disrespect for your mom when
You're disrespectful as
I paid for the fucking
First of all-
funeral as soon
first
as
of
it
all-
happened, just because.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What
The two eventually squashed their beef in the public eye, but there was no repairing the damage this had caused. House Phone quit a few weeks later, and many attributed Adam exposing him to be the main reason why. Many of the fans turned on Adam after this, and even the crew as a whole started to view his ego as a major problem. This continued until February, when they finally had enough.
I just feel like at a certain point, if you allow somebody to talk through all of their feelings,
You don't need to say this again.
No.
I already said what I'm gonna say.
No.
Lush. There was
Been
no
there.
chance in hell. Because I'm not gonna have
Been
y'all just
there.
sit here and harp on the same point over and
You're
over.
not even letting them talk.
No, because you guys are saying the same over and over. I
No,
told
no,
you
I
what
was
it
gonna say
is.
something different,
This
but
is
it's
my
okay.
I
podcast,
guess
and
we're
I'm
spaced
willing
out
to
in
hear out
reality.
other people's opinions. But if your opinion is that I should have sat there and took that, get the fuck out of here. It's not happening.
Well, he sat there and took a lot of other things.
It is my
So true.
podcast.
It's my podcast. I do what I want.
That is kind of the gist of it.
I just feel like he would have been more receptive to additional feedback.
Well, we get that you feel that way.
Adam22 could see that the majority of his crew had turned and wanted to do some restructuring. Out of nowhere, he fired his most prominent member, Lush, live on the show.
You lied to me.
What?
You lied to me, Lush.
About what?
This is, oh my God, y'all, this
I
is so
think-
uncomfortable.
I
Just
think
get
I-
ready for this.
I think
okay.
I remember this because I think I heard people talking about it on a stream or something.
It was so uncomfortable to watch. Oh.
Ooh, all right, let's see.
What I just tried to talk to you about in the hall?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing.
Well, I got confirmation from a bunch of different people.
Nah, fool.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. And it looks
What the-
prettier the more you lie. Bro, I've talked
Just,
to you
oh
about
God.
talking in the fucking Discord and saying crazy shit, but I never knew that you were this fucking loony with it, bro. You're what? You're sorry?
Nah, like, I don't, like, I didn't say anything.
No, you said a lot of shit. Like direct quotes of shit that I said only to you because I fucking trusted you.
I didn't say that.
Ooh.
I honestly think, at least for now, maybe we could come to the bottom of this at some point, but it's probably better that you just leave.
All right, man.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not expect this to be a narrative that was taking place today, but we got to hold ourselves to a higher standard. And yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm just super disappointed.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh my.
Damn.
After this clip surfaced, fans were outraged and also confused. The narrative that had been circling around the fan base felt like it was finally becoming true. Adam's ego had gotten so big that he had fired a prominent crew member live on the show for seemingly no
There
reason.
was something
AD,
like,
well, most
there was just something about like watching a grown man flounder on the spot. Like,
Yeah.
like I know he fucked up, but something about him like trying to lie through it and then like acting like bewildered, like he don't even know what are you even talking about.
Yeah, I feel like it's because like that part was funny, but it was really cringy. But it was like, I don't know, like I guess I could understand because I feel like, you know, there's like so many, like thousands of people watching it because I think they said it was live or whatever, right? And so he's probably feeling really humiliated, which
I
maybe
know.
it was deserved. And I'm just like, I don't know, personally for me, I'm like, maybe he should have waited until after, but at the same time, it's like, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, though.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
yeah, that's what I
honestly.
mean. He just literally just with eyes lit up and went, content, yeah. Yeah.
Like, bad publicity is good publicity, so.
Yeah.
considered to be No Jumper's second in command, went on stream the next day, clarifying why Lush got fired and why he wasn't happy.
I get a couple of hit-ups. Hey, Lush is in the Discord saying you got cut. Damn. Adam about to replace you. He don't like your saying 4 jokes that you be saying and a plethora of other things. So I'm like, what? I was trying to keep shit cool, girl. I'm trying to be cool about the whole situation. You feel me? On some business type shit. So I'm like, so Adam is sitting there talking about me behind my back. I thought you my brother. You supposed to have love for me. I thought we was like this. If you had a problem with me in any type of way, you could have came up to me and said some shit to me. Have I not proved my loyalty enough?
AD also commented on how No Jumper had recently interviewed Destiny with infamous neo-Nazi Richard Spencer, a sign of how much No Jumper had changed from his inception.
Richard Spencer, former neo-Nazi, you know what I'm saying? He does the stream with him, Adam, and Destiny. I don't think nothing of it. I'll get some phone calls for some people, you know, in the industry that are African-American that hit me like, hey, I don't appreciate Adam platforming this guy. And I'm like, who is this guy? So I start getting links and everything like that, and I'm paying attention. I'm like, oh, hold up. What is this doing interviewing this? Now, I understand completely to say, oh, bro, you sat down with Nick Fuentes and all that. Even with the Nick Fuentes shit, I was not fully aware of everything that was going on. And I feel like at least if you're going to talk to somebody like that, have an African-American with you in the interview to give some type of pushback when it comes down to that.
After this stream, AD, T-Rel, Duno, and Smack would all quit, leaving No Jumper with a huge fracture in his content. All of these—
Oh, wow.
Wow. Okay. So max exodus by everyone that was of color. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
people were important to the brand and hosted shows that could have been on their own channels in terms of view count. Many believed that because of Adam's ego and unwillingness to take accountability, he had lost almost all of the key figureheads that kept the show going. The channel itself then experienced a very noticeable decline, going from 28 million views a month all the way down to 9. This was the last straw for the remains of longtime fans, and they'd had enough. Sure, Adam had a ton of money, he had achieved everything he wanted to with the brand, but perhaps he overestimated the importance of his own contributions and underestimated the talent of his co-hosts. It was starting to get lonely at the top. Congrats, Adam, you had everything you've ever wanted. Hope it was worth losing all of your friends. The fact that this conversation was used as content says a ton. The friendship was doomed to fail. If anyone's life should be permanently altered, it should be Adam and his reputation. I am so glad that Housephone stood up for himself. Be careful what you wish for. For the second time in his career, Adam's past would resurface. On March 15th, 2023, an Instagram group of amateur predator catchers called the Official Perv Busters uploaded multiple videos from an now deleted episode.
Perv Busters, that's a good name.
Yeah, it says it all, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Episode of the No Jumper podcast. In these, one of the members mentioned Adam's previous allegations of SA and pedophilia to the host of the show.
So what's up with these allegations of Adam with a 16-year-old?
Nah, come on, bro. We can't do that, man.
What you mean we can't do that?
Come on,
but
bro.
wait, no. I'll be a hypocrite if I don't address it. But I'll be a hypocrite if I don't address it though. Especially with.
Oh man, like this other stuff. Come on, bro. We can't come on.
I'm just saying. Hey, Flacco. Wait. Flacco. I'll be a hypocrite if I don't address it. When you know what I do.
The two would go back and forth, with the host Flacco essentially saying to stop talking about it, with little success. The perv buster kept pushing. Almost immediately, the tension in the room was palpable. Everyone on the crew knew what he was talking about. Flacco would end the stream, and the only thing they could do was wait. Eventually, Adam showed up and confronted the perv buster.
So look, bro, I'm a perv buster. I catch online files. So we talking about the whole lust situation and everything, but I'll be a hypocrite if I don't address the situation that happened with you.
There is no situation with me.
The one where you was messing with a 16-year-old girl?
Never happened. What do you think happened? The article says
I'm going
she
on.
was 19 when I met her.
She was 19 when you met her?
Yeah. The article says it.
So, but what did you say?
I said that I spoke to her on the phone when she was 16 before I realized that she was.
All right,
well,
that's how we catch him.
She didn't even know that she was doing something.
It don't even matter, but that's how we catch him.
You felt like you were gonna come on my
She didn't know, but you did.
No, it was just in the midst of the conversation. It was in the midst of, he didn't, it's not on him on nothing. It was in the midst of the conversation.
You came on my platform and spread lies like that?
Lies?
Lies.
Is it lies?
You could have done some research and figured out anything.
Did you talk to her when you were 16?
For like 5 minutes when I was 21. I'm 39.
You wasn't 23?
I might have been 21, right?
How you don't know? How you don't know if you was 21?
20 years ago.
It still happened though, but we can't take that jacket off. We can't take that jacket off for nobody.
Right? You gotta go.
Hey man, you know.
You gotta go.
Oh,
bruh.
Dude. Oh. Yeah, he got him in the corner there, didn't he? And then as soon as like he couldn't say anything anymore, I was like, no, don't want to talk to anyone. Get out of my studio.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Yeah, season 6.
The clip itself immediately exploded, getting almost 100,000 likes on Twitter. Trauma Alert also covered the story, and eventually everyone was talking about it. With the recent fallout of the crew, it felt like Adam was finally getting his comeuppance, with some even celebrating. 2 days after the video dropped, Lil Pump, the guy Adam had gone on tour with all those years ago, came out and accused Adam of sleeping with 16-year-olds on tour.
Adam.
What?
Was f***ing girls that was the same age as me when I was 16. Like, what's wrong with you, bro? You are a straight p***o. So, you know what? I'm gonna leave that p***o over there.
That same day, Adam went on the Joe Budden podcast. For the first 30 minutes, he answered questions relating to the drama involving his crew, but then Joe started asking him about the allegations from years ago, which had recently resurfaced.
Back in the day when I think I was like 21, 22, I had met a girl on a message board at the time, right? It was like an old like punk message board, basically. You know, I knew other people that knew her and stuff, so I thought that it was all good. We started chatting a little bit. We get on the phone. She lived in Canada, right? And so then she tells me once we hop on the phone that she's actually 16. And so my response to that, even at that time, even at 22, I did the right thing. Obviously, like getting on the phone in the first place is bad, but I did the right thing. I said, hey, I know this isn't that big a deal to you because it's legal where you're from, but it's a big deal where I'm from. So that's it.
It felt like this time, the accusations wouldn't just slip away. The amount of vocal outcry when they resurfaced cannot be overstated. If 2018 was a ripple, 2023 was a tsunami. In the wake of controversy and allegations, individuals often find themselves seeking solace and refuge, retreating from public scrutiny and turning their focus inward. Such was the case for Adam after it seemed like his reputation was permanently tarnished. He decided to embrace a period of seclusion, using this time to collect his brand and reevaluate his strategy. As a result, the critically acclaimed show, Plug Talk, became his refuge, a platform through which he could redirect his energies and captivate audiences with compelling narratives and thought-provoking discussions.
My first scene was with Jake Adams, rest in peace. He died last year. So it's always like crazy when people ask me about, you know, my first scene, but like the shit out of me. Like it was
Most of the music.
We were on FaceTime with my mom, like while he had the Hitachi.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Have
type
you
of
always
thing.
known that you had that superpower?
No, I'd only spoken one time before, and then in my first scene ever, I was just. And Riley pulled me aside. He was like, "That's gonna be your thing."
You weren't trying, and you had no idea this was going to happen, and then somehow the was so much better than all the regular.
I think it was being on camera.
Really?
I like being watched, and it's so weird that that's like a fetish for me, considering I'm so like to myself.
Yeah.
But I guess it's on camera. Like it's just there's something about it.
Wow, that's super interesting.
Makes
So
sense.
does it feel like Keen?
No, it actually doesn't.
Fans of the Plug Talk
Does it
show have
feel
largely
like
been separated from No
What?
Jumper and had accepted Adam into their embrace. To them, he was a fallen angel in need of guidance and still needed their support, which they would give in the comments. We love a women that know what they want and are honestly about it. You mingle to me. I love it. While Adam was doing Plug Talk, he still missed doing No Jumper full time and wanted a way to keep maximizing the amount of money he was making. Not only that, but he had a reputation to fix. He had a clout ladder to climb. He needed to think of some way to money max while also minimizing the amount of people that talked about his resurfaced allegations. On June 27th, Lena would make an announcement on Twitter saying, "It finally happened."
Hey guys, guess who I'm shooting with today?
Oh no.
It's finally happening. Wow, I did not know you were gonna do that.
Adam had officially reached
Ew.
ground zero
Yep.
status.
I
The
hate
tweet
when guys do
itself
that.
got an insane amount of attention, getting almost 50,000 likes and a slew of replies filled with exactly what you would expect people to say. Everyone would have a good laugh calling Adam a cuck. Little did they know this became much more than a viral tweet or moment. Adam responded a day later.
So I've been with my girl for 7 years. We just got married. We're not in an open relationship, but from a perspective, we shoot with other girls, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. But no other guys is busting her in that.
Well, you guessed it. Over the weekend,
Something like that happened.
she filmed her first ever scene with another man.
I know you was mad.
Shit.
You was angry.
I agreed to it, so I was. I say
but-
angry might not be the word.
But you was kind of like disappointed a little bit. Like, you vibe like cut.
Nah, he loved that shit. You kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, with how much he's been parading it on Twitter, I mean, he was into it, you know. When they say
Yeah.
cuck, he means it.
I think it's
She
funny
gave
that
me a-
Destiny was here for this conversation as well, just
I
by the way.
know.
Like, it's just sitting there
He's just
going, oh, yeah.
Him and his blue hair.
A lot of outs on the way in. Like
Yeah.
she kind of kept telling me, like, if you don't want me to, I won't do it.
You
You
should
know.
have said no.
I said that I wanted
You
her to
already
do
got
it. I'm
millions
like,
on top of millions of dollars, Adam. You didn't have to do that.
fair enough. But I
Come
told her,
on.
I'm like, I think you should do it. Let's get it out the way.
So how do you vibe about it now?
She's
Do I need
32.
to get you an old English?
No. Yeah, I don't need to drown the pig in no old English. But I was kind of surprised because I feel like I can like intellectualize it. And from my perspective, I don't think it should be a big deal. But then after she actually did it, I'm not going to lie, I did feel kind of odd. You
Oh,
know,
neighborhood
a
crib,
little bit of
like
that feeling
old
in the
hood.
belly,
See,
you know?
like
Was the guy black?
like
Didn't
prime
feel
rib.
good in the belly. Like, if
your
that's
gut.
what's if that's what's sending off your gut sensors, then what happened to like the rest of your life, dude? It didn't work then. Now it does. Like, I don't.
This is the beginning of the end. We're gonna all get to witness it.
Dude.
So the roasting continued. Several tweets were doing numbers at this point, and the memes were becoming bigger and bigger. Adam22 makes enough money for his wife to retire, by the way. She just enjoys getting detonated by other fellas too much to stop. Adam still had not given a reason as to why this was the exact moment Lena had decided to do with another man, so he elaborated the next day.
The reality is that her career has been, you know, helped by me for sure, but also held back by me to a certain extent because of the fact that we would only shoot together. And
Take a man to realize that shit.
the number one thing that she gets asked, that she gets requested, whatever, is they want to see her shoot with another guy.
Viewers speculated that because of the recent breakup at No Jumper, Adam and Lena had become strapped for cash and needed other ways to make money. Despite a noticeable drop-off after the split, this most likely was not the reason. No Jumper was likely still making around $100,000 a month from AdSense alone, and unless Adam was in severe debt to one of his gang member associates, there was no way he was strapped for cash. On July 2nd, Adam wrote the tweet that essentially served as a catalyst for the situation to go nuclear. It's officially been a week since I let my wife do with another guy. I felt a little jealous at first, but overall it wasn't that big of a deal. She's watched me sleep with hundreds of girls and it's never affected our relationship. Sleeping with that gentleman has been amazing for both her career and our business at Plug Talk Show. Overall, I'm glad we did it, and I'm happy to report her vagina has returned to its original pre-BBC size.
What? That is so stupid. That is so stupid.
Oh my god! Like, dude, she had a kid. Remember? Like, it can't be that fucking. That is
Vaginas
so...
are resilient.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you could stick your whole head up in some gals, and then like, that's just normal. That's just a day in the park.
Stick your head up.
Wait. What did you say?
I'm just saying, like, y'all, I'm like messed up on cold medicine over here, but I'm just saying, there's some content out there that shows full-grown men putting their heads up women's vaginas, and like, they're fine. Like, they just keep rolling, you know?
I've never heard of that
I'm
before.
so
Yeah,
confused.
that's Sunday in the Park with George.
I'm only thinking of that one scene from I think it was Hitchcock or whatever. Wherever Will Smith was like a superhero, he put some, like, in the movie, he put some dude's head up another guy's like ass or something, and that's like,
So how do you breathe?
Yeah, like that's what I'm wondering. Like, what? Oh, Hancock. Thank you, Nuclear.
Your body is a wonderland. Your body is a wonderland. Like, for everybody that's not believing me in chat, y'all, I'm just saying, check out eFucked. Like, you're gonna get your mind blown. Get your mind blown.
I've learned something
Literally
new today.
yeah.
Oh my word.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially over. With over 36 million views and 30,000 likes, it's safe to say that this tweet officially marks the start of a new era for Adam, the era. Thousands of people replied disgusted with pretty much everything he said. Even low-tier God, the man infamous for his trash talk and blunt attitude, responded in disbelief. It felt like Adam was starting a humiliation ritual, and everyone was invited. Infamous banned YouTuber Leafy would respond with, "Whatever helps you sleep at night," starting a reply chain. How many partners have you had? No offense, but you resemble some sort of botched attempt. Not sure why this app has given you the confidence to be critical of anyone else's life choices. Generally speaking, I'm just ignoring the hate right now, but Leafy pretending he's in a position to judge anyone else's sex life cannot stand. Later that day, Adam continued to feed the flames. Kind of weird how calling me a is supposed to offend me. I saw the video of my wife getting plowed and I thought it was pretty hot. If that makes me a so be it. Videos were also starting to pop up of Lena actively embracing the attention, whether it be negative or more negative. The memes surrounding this were starting to hit critical mass. It felt like at this point, literally everyone was talking about it. Seeing all the attention, tweets off, they got more replies. Making sure to always include the OnlyFans link so we could maximize profits at every turn. I wasn't born with the strength required to let another dude bang my wife. It takes hours upon hours in the gym to gain this kind of strength. Weak men will never understand. Why do people
mental gymnastics, maybe that's what's happening there, but I'm not sure about being at the gym. Oh my god.
people keep tweeting this at me? I don't get
Oh
it.
no.
Yo, this one time, I get this random message on Twitter. They're like, hey Jason, my wife's a big fan. She wants to shoot a movie with you. What are your movie filming rates? I'm like, yeah, it's 4K. He's like, okay, that's fine. We'll give you 10. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go there and I shoot the film with the woman. I dropped some severe glizzy destruction on her. And the husband is recording this, right? I'm like, this is weird.
The husband, like, he was recording it. Okay.
Wait, oh my god.
Study, right? Nonetheless, so I dropped the glizzy on the woman or whatever. So she dropping the go 3,000 and she's saying, hey, little man, you like that? He was like, yes, ma'am.
On June 13th, Lena the Plug
Damn.
Jeez.
video was finally uploaded to her OF, and the reaction from Twitter was apocalyptic. To give a scale, some of the biggest accounts on the site were tweeting reactions of the video with nothing but text. No other context, just something along the lines of, God damn, he f***ed the shit out of Adam22 wife, had her biting the bed sheets, had her screaming. Adam kept continuing the trend of forced embarrassment, tweeting self-deprecating pictures, and even making a video where he supposedly gave Lena a brand new Lamborghini in exchange for the video.
Okay, Lena, I'm so proud of you doing your first ever BBC scene that I decided that I wanted to get you a little something nice. Open your eyes.
What? This? For me? Oh my god!
By now, Adam being a had become
So
a mainstream
faked.
meme, and even more popular than the allegations from before, and everyone wanted to interview them about it. Lena and Adam appeared on several streams and podcasts, with the most infamous being Andrew Tate's show. To regular viewers, it seemed like Adam had fully given up any shred of self-respect he had left, and just wanted money. In a way, the entire situation personified how and why Adam would get as popular as he did. It didn't matter how he got attention. Once he figured out a thing that attracted people, he would do it, and not stop, continually running whatever it was into the ground over and over until it had fully run its course before moving on to the next corpse.
I mean, I knew it was gonna be viral with like my fans, the No Jumper fans, maybe in like hip hop. I guess I didn't understand that it was gonna be insanely viral for like everybody in the whole fucking world, because it just like, this has probably been one of the most viral things her and I have ever been a part of. There was a dollar amount that I had in mind that she was gonna make from doing this.
Yeah.
I can say that now that dollar amount seems like a fucking joke.
They made that shit in pre-sales.
Exploded, bro. And it's not even coming out for another 10 days.
That's what I said.
Other people, while agreeing that money was a contributing factor, didn't think it was the main reason he had done this. Many noticed that this cuck saga had suspiciously occurred right after Adam's allegations had resurfaced, and this time they had an actual bite to them. With no proof or validity, it was suspicious nonetheless of if this was true, but whether this was a cynical plan by Adam or it kind of fell into his lap, it definitely worked. People had gone from trying to cancel Adam just a few months ago to laughing at him all day and calling him a cuck. To most, this would feel like it was career-ending no matter what, but to Adam, profiting off of your wife getting porked by a 6'7" Hulk was just a walk in the park. Anything that wasn't illegal was fair game to him, and continues to be in the present. As the meme started to die down, Adam even tried to keep the controversy going by acting like he's finally mad at the dude who tried to, or I shouldn't say tried to, successfully got with his wife on video, and it seems like it's actually working for the most part. To his credit, the dude is a genius marketer. He knows how to get attention. The cuck saga will likely continue as long as it gets views and people keep buying Lena's OnlyFans. Regardless, Adam will probably never be able to repair his reputation, and this is what he's going to be known for years after the meme is fizzled out. Then again, considering he's the #1 search result on the #1 adult video site in the world, and by some estimates, him and Lena have made well over $1 million from this venture, he probably doesn't care.
Damn.
There is an idea of an Adam Grand Mason, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real him, only an entity, something illusory, and although he can hide his cold gaze, and you can shake his hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense your lifestyles are probably comparable, he is simply not there.
This feels like
I've
an
been
ARG.
Turkey Tom. Thanks for watching, and until next time, leave me alone.
Okay.
That was great.
Interesting
Oh my
video.
god.
We learned a lot today, ladies. What did you think?
Well, I just want to point out, like, I'm all for porn couples. Like, I have a lot of friends that are, like, married. They do porn. Both fuck other people. Like, and they're the closest couples I've ever seen. Like, but fuck Adam22. Like, when it happens to him, I'm like, oh, I hope it hurts. But, like, I just want everybody to know, like, anybody else, like, I'm all for them. Like, do what y'all want to do. And your relationship is your own relationship. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
but, like,
exactly.
Fuck Adam22. I hope he does get hurt.
But yeah, that's the thing is like all that stuff that that came out about like the 16-year-old and multiple 16-year-olds for that has been victimized by like, you know, other rappers and whatever. I'm really glad that Tom came out with this video because I didn't know anything about any of that.
Oh, and he didn't even, I thought he was going to show, like, when he had Lil Pump talking, Adam22 filmed Lil Pump getting head when he was 16 and they were on tour.
What?
Oh my god,
really?
he
posted it and everything.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Like, he posted it too. So why isn't this fucker in jail? I don't understand. Like, it's because his dad was that high up and then he like got like pardoned and whatever about what he did with fraud. Like, so like is there some sort of strings there that he knows people, or just people are just not focusing on this because he keeps having other dramas to
I think it's
back
that. I
allegations?
think that he just keeps doing stuff to like tidal wave over it, and then people don't even pay attention to the thing that happened last month because of what's happening this month.
Right.
Like, it just seems like too big of a coincidence that every time something comes up, he's got some kind of something big that goes viral following right behind it.
Yeah, it seems like it. Like anytime it... Wow. Okay.
Huh.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
What did
Lil
you
Pump
think?
said, like, in one part of it, his video, he was saying, I was 16 and I was fucking people my age, and he said, and so were you. Like, talking about, saying you were fucking the same girls that I was fucking, and they were my age, so...
That's so sickening. Actually,
yeah.
All right. What did you think, Rynnie?
Well, it was... This whole video was like a lot to take in, right? Because I'm not too familiar with Adam stuff besides the cuck stuff. But
That's
it's
what
like,
Lena said.
Yeah. And it's... and it's like... I don't know, like... It's crazy how he went from doing like credit card fraud to then building his business in BMX, and then, you know, he goes to doing like his whole podcast stuff, and to see that then there's like the whole like allegations of the 16-year-old to like the cuck stuff. Like, he's had a roller coaster of a reputation.
Yeah, he should have just stayed with the jumping the homeless.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, Jumper.
Yeah, that was the most innocent thing he was involved in.
Yeah,
Jeez.
like, I feel like if he would have stayed there, like, maybe he would have teamed up with, like, the skateboard dudes or whatever, you know, and, like, build an empire off of that. Or, I don't know, something, but, like, it's just, like, with the whole podcast thing, like, I feel like, because they were talking about, it got to a point where it was just his co-hosts and stuff. It's either their own shows were so big people didn't know him, which I never heard, where like you own a channel but nobody really knows you, or just like the fact that he would, and of course it's content for him, but just he would kind of like let his co-hosts like fight like on the streams. And sometimes they would get physical. Like, I don't know, just like his whole like career is just really wild to me, because I've just not personally watched anyone or seen anyone that's done that type of stuff before. So it's just like, oh my god, like there's no common sense there.
Yeah. God damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's not an investigation with all the
like
there is.
That's what blows my mind as well. Like, not only did it happen just once, it happened multiple times, and there is like, you know, what is it? There's claims that he like, you know, had photos and pictures and videos, and he's also distributed them to people and posted them online. Like, there's so many illegal things there, like that he should have gotten caught for and not getting away from.
Right,
So
with,
like,
right, you would think that the authorities or whoever else, like, you would think they would do something about it, because even if, like, because they were saying, like, the blog was taken down, even if the blog is taken down or whatever, in that span of, you know, 6 months that he wrote it, people still archive that, so that proof's still there, so they could still do something about it. I mean, maybe there's, like, some type of, what's it called?
Statutory.
Yeah, like,
or,
the like, you know, like, maybe there's, like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. Years in place, like a span of years, and maybe it just went over those years where you can report it. But it's just like, I don't know, that's so like serious.
Oh, the
because-
statute of limitation. That's the word.
Yes, that.
Yeah,
Thank
my
you,
brain's
thank
working
you.
slow right now.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Thank you, thank you. But just like the fact, like, I don't know, like it's so serious, and like those that girl, like her stuff's out there now and everyone's seen it, and it's like you would think like she could at least get like something from that, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy. And like I know Aiko earlier in chat was asking, is the cuck stuff potentially to kind of like sort of like get away from like the allegations? And I think Tom even like talked about that at the end of it, and it's like it does kind of seem that way, because it was like for a few months at the beginning of the year, you know, with Perv Busters, they were, you know, talking about his allegations. Suddenly it's all
Yeah.
about he's a cuck now and all of that. And I believe someone in chat and said that allegedly his wife hasn't also commented on the allegations, which is also kind of wild to me.
Right.
So it's just like, I don't know. It's just a big like fuckwad of, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Oh man, I had something in my head to say, but now I've forgotten it because I keep
Oh.
reading statute of limitations.
Yeah, fuck Adam22.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. Well, our poll is probably another close one, to be honest. So, would you rather commit fraud and get caught, or get cucked and be a bitch? So, at one stage, cucked was up higher, and now it's fraud. So,
Yeah, I think once they saw what it did to Adam, they were like, "Oh, wait a minute."
Yeah, honestly, I would choose fraud.
yeah. I definitely choose fraud.
Like just personally for me, I just like open relationships, that type of stuff. I can't envision like myself being a part of that. But like if that's other people's choices, you know, they can do that.
Yeah,
but,
if that's your bag, that's your bag.
Yeah.
Like, you know, do what you gotta do. Like, but yeah, no shame. No
yeah,
shame.
I will also say like I remember like him and Lena's wedding video thing too, before all like the cuck stuff, and I just want to say like that video was actually really pretty, like her wedding dress and stuff, and like the place they chose, it was really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see that meme though of them, like of the photo of her looking up to him and then the photo of her looking up to the guy with the VW?
Yeah.
Like, and then it's just like
Oh,
she
no.
didn't even look that way at him at her wedding. Like,
Yeah.
Oh god.
oh
Yeah.
no, that was hilarious. Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Do you, Bunny or Eva, you guys have anything else going on rest of the week?
I'm just chilling.
Chilling, vibing. I believe we will be having an episode coming out on Saturday.
True.
Yes, and it will be at 6 p.m. Eastern time, guys. So look out for that.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you would like to become a member for the next members stream, there is a link inside the description there, or also you can click that little money button underneath there if you'd like to join us. It was a good time last time. We had a great time, and next time I think we're going to have a little bit more prepared and do some like activities and stuff with you all too. So, with saying that, thank you all for joining us today and for being there and supporting us. Really appreciate you. If you can press the like button on your way out, that would be amazing. Yeah. Anyone else got anything else?
Nope.
No, we big vibing.
We vibing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us today, ladies. I'm gonna go ahead and deafen, and chat, thanks for being here. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Watch me.
I'ma get it how I wanna get it, you don't get it. I can do anything, I don't got a limit. I'ma make my mind up, I'm committed. It might take some time, might take a minute. I won't give up, I don't give in this shit. I do what I want when I wanna do it. Call it a power or call it a gift. I call it persistence or driving some wit. I ain't no minute man. Good things take time when I'm in it, man. Give me some time and I'm with a fan. Now I'm gone too far from the beginning, man. I can teach you, but you gotta listen. I got lessons, all lessons to give them. Think the masses are open and wishing and thinking and driven and cutting the ribbons. And they know they don't want it more than me. I work hard, they call it a disease. I work hard so I can go be free. But I don't work for anyone but me. But it didn't start like that. I was 9 to 5, didn't feel right. Had to get in touch with myself, get my mind back, to figure out what I want in this life bad. And I don't regret it, failed a lot, but I learned my lessons. Got new moves, new things, new weapons, and now I finally got direction. We ain't got no time to be complacent. You only got one life to go make a statement. Everything you want, it'll all be waiting. So put your mind to it and you can become greatness. So don't quit, don't stop, push through it. You got dreams, one life, go do it. Make moves, improve, keep doing. A new life, new you can choose it.
Watch me. Watch me.
Let's go.
Watch me.
Gotta really wanna catch hands, no face off. Everybody know I got plans to take off. Everybody know I got bands, no J's on. I'ma do life like me, no days off. I don't really care what you think about me. Hate filling minds up like a disease. Filling me with fight, some life energy. Knowing that I'm doing something right. If you hating, I just try to keep my mind real vacant. I took all my time in the basement. I spent half my life impatient. It was worth all the time and patience. Get it? The way I said it. Never mind, I don't have time, forget it. You can read all my rhymes on Reddit. They need a feed and damn it, I fed it. I got my eyes on the prize. I tell truth, don't hear no lies. I don't take, I give and guide. I don't break, I live and fight. On the chase, I got the sight. Vision goals, I set them right. Working through the lonely nights. Worth it on the other side. If you try to make it fast, it won't last. Take a stab, make it bad. Face the fast, but still lag. Don't give up, don't look back. You got this, no stopping, no quitting, no stalling, no options. You're running, follow your dreams and find your calling. We ain't got no time to be complacent. You only got one life to go make a statement. Everything you want, it'll all be waiting. So put your mind to it and you can become greatness. So don't quit, don't stop, push through it. You got dreams, one life, go do it. Make moves, improve, keep doing. A new life, new you can choose it.
Watch me.